Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Thursday, January 2nd. Coming up on Cullman Today, tragedy in New Orleans. An Arctic front hits the South, and our focus on faith. All this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's dive into the top stories happening in Cullman today. In the early morning hours of New Year's Day, an individual drove a pickup truck into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing at least 10 and injuring dozens of others. The suspect has been identified as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas. After hitting the crowd, Jabbar fired upon local law enforcement, who returned fire. The subject was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 law enforcement officers were injured and transported to a local hospital. An ISIS flag was located in the rented vehicle Jabbar was driving. The FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations to terrorist organizations. The FBI's special agent bomb technicians were working with law enforcement partners to determine if any of the IED discovered in the vehicle and near the scene were viable. Investigating this as an act of terrorism, the FBI is aggressively tracking any and all leads to identify possible associates of the subject. The FBI has set up a digital tip line and asks anyone with information or video of the incident to submit them to www.fbi.gov/Bourbon Street attack or call 1-800-CALL-FBI. In other news, a strong Arctic front is set to hit the South this Sunday and Monday, bringing high winds and potential storms. WVTM Chief Meteorologist Jason Simpson reports that thunderstorms are likely across central Texas, Oklahoma, and the lower Mississippi Valley as the cold front moves through. He says that strong wind shear could lead to organized storms, and while there are some differences in model predictions, most agree that severe thunderstorms are likely in the lower Mississippi Valley, potentially continuing into the southeast overnight. Although severe weather isn't expected in Alabama and Tennessee at this time, residents should prepare for rain and strong wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour Sunday night and Monday. Power outages are possible due to the strong cold front winds. And rounding out our top stories this morning, focus on faith, Northbrook Baptist Church. This year marked the 20th anniversary of the very first worship service held by Northbrook Baptist Church. To celebrate and continue growing in ministry, the church has chosen to dedicate the year 2025 to relational evangelism. Let's meet the team. Keith Warden has served as the senior pastor at Northbrook for the last 6 years. He says, our goal as a church for the year is to have at least 500 gospel conversations with people in places where we live, work, and play. Baxter Bentley is the executive pastor, handling all things administration and facilities. Baxter leads Northbrook's cross-cultural missions program. Dave Wright, the discipleship pastor at Northbrook, says his goal is to equip kingdom investors for kingdom impact in Cullman and beyond. Jeremy Semplaski, the worship pastor, says Northbrook is a place that is passionate about authentic pursuit of God. Jason Piper is the student pastor at Northbrook. While serving right under a year, he says he's learned that the Northbrook community is a family. Northbrook invites the community for service on Sunday mornings. Life group hour for children and adults begins at 9 o'clock with worship to follow at 10:30. Wednesday intensive courses are held at 6:30 p.m. The church is located at 3691 Alabama Highway 157 in Cullman. For more information, visit www.northbrookbc.com or call 256-734-9700. 6401. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up next, we'll dive into sports. Welcome back. In today's sports segment, Alabama falls to Michigan in the ReliaQuest Bowl. The 11th ranked Alabama football team fell in a hole early and was unable to finish the comeback, falling 19-13 to the Michigan Wolverines in the ReliaQuest Bowl at Raymond James Stadium on Tuesday. The Crimson Tide seemed to be driving for a potential game-winning touchdown in the final seconds, but could not find the end zone deep in Wolverines' territory on the game's final drive. Jalen Milroe finished the afternoon 16 of 32 through the air with 192 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Jeremy Bernard led all Alabama receivers with 80 yards on 4 catches. Defensively, the Tide held the Wolverines to just 190 yards of offense and 2.9 average yards per play in the loss. Jahad Campbell managed 11 total stops, while Justin Jefferson and Bray Hubbard each recorded 9 tackles. Zabian Brown also notched his 3rd interception of the season, which finished tied for the team lead with Hubbard. The Tide's opening 4 possessions included 2 fumbles, an interception, and turnovers on downs, resulting in 6 points for the Wolverines. For the game, Alabama's defense allowed 2.9 yards per play and 2.3 yards per rush. However, Michigan dominated time of possession at 38 minutes compared to Alabama's 22 and finished 4 of 4 on red zone opportunities. With 11 total tackles against Michigan, Jahad Campbell finished the 2024 campaign with 10 or more tackles in 5 of 13 games. James Smith's quarterback sack in the 3rd quarter was the first sack of his collegiate career. Robbie Oates' touchdown reception in the 2nd quarter was his 2nd receiving score of the year, and Daniel Hill's 3-yard reception in the 4th quarter was the first catch of the running back's career. Head coach Kalen DeBoer closes his first season at Alabama with 9 wins, tying him with Frank Thomas for the most victories by a first-year head coach in program history. Alabama will kick off the 2025 season at Florida State on August 30th. That wraps up sports for today. After the break, we'll bring you 4 stories in under 4 minutes: rescheduling of the Sugar Bowl, staying prepared in Alabama, a canvas art workshop, and our pet of the week. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with 4 stories in under 4 minutes. This year's Sugar Bowl between Notre Dame and Georgia, originally scheduled for last night, has been postponed to tonight following the tragic attack in New Orleans. The matchup will still take place at the Superdome. The Sugar Bowl Committee expressed deep sorrow, stating, "The Sugar Bowl Committee is devastated by the terrible events from early this morning. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families. We are in ongoing discussions with authorities on the local, state, and federal levels and will communicate further details as they become available. Southeastern Conference Commissioner Greg Sankey said the postponement prioritizes public safety, saying the decision to postpone tonight's Sugar Bowl was made in the best interest of public safety. Lives were tragically lost last night, and we are appreciative that public officials and law enforcement agencies continue to work with great diligence to ensure the safety of the New Orleans community. The Alabama Emergency Management Agency reminds residents that Alabama is an all-hazard state, vulnerable to severe weather and natural disasters. Disasters can happen suddenly, so it's critical to know the potential threats and stay updated on current conditions. According to the EMA, understanding your risk involves recognizing hazards, knowing your vulnerability, and assessing the potential impact. This proactive approach can help protect you and those around you. Stay informed and prepared to safeguard against unexpected events. Kick off the new year with creativity at Cullman County Public Library today at 4 p.m. The crafting group, Novel Creations, is hosting a canvas art workshop at the library located at 200 Clark Street Northeast in Cullman. Participants are encouraged to bring a small canvas, a decorative napkin or small gift bag size to fit your canvas, Mod Podge, and a craft brush. Most of these items can be purchased at a dollar store. The event is free, and everyone is welcome to join this creative gathering to start the year off with some artistic fun. And finally, meet Sweet Bella, a 2.5-year-old bulldog mix who is the Cullman Tribune Pet of the Week. She's intelligent and understands leash etiquette. While Bella may be a bit shy at first, with patience, encouragement, and love, she opens up to let her true self shine. She's the perfect therapy, companion, reading dog. Her adoption fee is $130, which includes spay, DHLPP, Bordetella, and rabies vaccines, wormer, general exam at the vet, and microchip. Visit the shelter at 935 Convent Road Northeast. It's open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. If you plan to meet Bella but she's already been adopted, she barked to let everyone know her friends are still seeking new homes. Contact the Cullman County Animal Shelter at 256-734-5448 or Cullman Animal Shelter at co.cullman.al.us. And that's your 4 stories under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message.
Step into Cullman, where local heroes and community spirit shine. Introducing Community Matters Magazine from the Cullman Tribune, your guide to inspiring tales and community spirit. Celebrate our local champions and dive into the festivities at Christ Kindle Market. Feel the season's cheer and discover stories that inspire. Community Matters Magazine. Connect with your community. Find your free issue at these locations or download a copy online.
Welcome back. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week as we turn to obituaries. Richard Kraft of Vinemont was 67 years old when he passed away on Friday, December 27th. Funeral service for Mr. Kraft will be at 2 p.m. on Friday, January 3rd at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home. Visitation will take place from noon to 2 p.m. with burial at Simcoe Baptist Church Cemetery following the service. Alice Faye Stewart from Cullman passed away at the age of 84 on December 30th at Woodland Village Nursing Home. Funeral services for Miss Stewart will be at 11 a.m. Friday, January 3rd at Hanceville Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will follow the service at Duck River Cemetery. Visitation will be Thursday, January 2nd from 5 to 7 p.m. at Hanceville Funeral Home. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a moment to look ahead at today's weather forecast. Today, expect sunny skies with a high near 48 and a calm wind. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a low around 31. As we head into the weekend, Friday will be another sunny day with a high near 47. You can expect a light west-northwest wind becoming northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour in the morning. Winds could gust as high as 20 miles per hour. Friday night will be clear but cold with a low around 24. That northwest wind we saw during the day becoming calmer in the evening. We could still see some wind gusts as high as 15 miles per hour. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us, and remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30. But until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today, wishing you a beautiful day.